Hi, it's Sue Wilson. I have a card that's got a mirror background on it, but you would never know it. So I've done some distressing, and I'll show you what an easy technique this is. We are going to be using some new products here. I've got the Atlantic Ocean Collection, the Cape Verde. From our Gemini dies, we have the Cassiopeia. Frames and tags, we're going to be using the Megan die. And I'm going to do a little accenting with the spring foliage. And we'll be using the new Brambled Rose embossing folder. It's an 8x8 size. And then I'm going to just have a cute little accent with our white satin flowers here. Okay? Pop those to the side. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of gold mirror card. And I'm going to give you a quick measurement. It is 5 inches by 6.5. And we're going to do some embossing with it. So I'm going to pop it into the Brambled Rose embossing folder. Now, this is one of those embossing folders where, depending on what machine you have, it may take a different sandwich. I use it with our white adapter plate. If you find the emboss isn't deep enough for you, then you can shim that, or you can go to the raspberry plate if that works in your machine. So you'll have to decide which is the right sandwich for you for that particular folder. Okay. There we go. Pop that out of the way. We'll move that. I'm also going to be using some Creative Expressions metallic gilding polish, and this is the Graphite. So we're going to take this over the top. There we go. Move those. And you can see it's almost like a mousse. It's really nice and smooth. So we'll bring in a little bit on the edge of our applicator that comes in the lid and just wipe the extra bit off on the edge of the container there. We're going to go over the top, and that is just going to tone and distress the color of that gold mirror card. There we go. Get it all completely covered. Turn it around the other side. Add a bit more. So it takes off that shine, but you can still see you've got a metallic look coming through there quite easily. Okay, and I'm going to give it a quick buff with some kitchen roll. And that will dry it off for you. I'll take that off. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of copy paper for the next step, because you don't want to do this on your craft mat. There we go. Just using a sanding block, I'm going to take off a bit of the top part here. Just give it a little more of a light distress. Just a light circular motion around the top of this. There we go. Just take the extra bit away. So you can see you've toned down that gold and you've brought it down to it's almost like an antique look to it. Very distressed look. Really nice. So I'm going to keep this for a second and we will work forward from here. Now I want to set this up on a mat which has the same gold, but I want it to match. So I'm going to bring back my polish here and I'm just going to go around the edge of this and just tone that down as well. And it just takes the shine off and it will end up matching perfectly to your project. And because only a tiny bit of this is going to show, I'm just going to go around the edge. There we go. You can put 2 coats on if you like it a little heavier. That's not a problem. Dry it in between. Not a problem at all. Pop that down. And I'm just going to give it a light buff. Make sure it's dry. There we go. And we will put our pierced layer on top of that. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just bring in a dry emboss and tidy that area up so we don't get it all over our card. Clean that. There we go. And quick dry. Okay. So now we can put some tape on the back of our pierced piece here. Get that ready. It's picking up a little bit from my fingerprints, but that won't show. Pop that into place here. just having that edge show all the way around. And we can put that into place on our backing piece. Got some mounting foam just to raise it a little bit for dimension. Put that right in the center. There we go. And I'm going to seat this piece onto another piece of milk card just to give it a little nice frame around it. So we'll put that into place and then add that and work forward. There we go. So that will sit right inside of there. Okay, now I'll wait to put this on till we finish our next step. So I've got a Gemini die that I've cut out of the milk card. This is called Cassiopeia, and I've just added a couple of the little pearls there as accents. So I'm going to use a little bit of quick spray glue on it. Give that a second to set up, and then we'll move forward from there. On the top of the card, I've used the Cape Verde, and it cuts out a really pretty little scallop area there. So I'm going to use that as my background. I'm going to pop that onto the top of the card. Get that nice and centered, and that should sit nicely down below there. There we go. Now that I've got that in place, I can go ahead and use a little bit of glue or tape and put this piece on. Set that right in the middle of our frame. Just lean into that and get that nice and centered. Give that a second. It probably needs just a little more glue around the edges here. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so I've cut the center from the Megan die, which is this one right here, out of that same gold. And I want to have it have that same sort of look to it. So I'm just going to bring back my applicator and add a little bit of the graphite right across the top there. Just toning down that gold and giving it that vintage look to it. There we go. Give that a little wipe. Buff it. Oops. And I'm going to bring this back in and just hit it ever so slightly with my sanding block. Same thing, we'll get a little bit of that, almost like a scratch gold look to it. Very lightly, so you can see how pretty that comes out. I've got some mounting foam on the back here. And pop that right into place across the Cape Verde die. Okay, so now we have a sentiment. Get that. I've stamped a little heartfelt thanks, and it has a nice little oval die in the center of Megan with little piercing dots around it, so we'll pop that into place right in the center there. And I've used the spring foliage to cut a couple of these, so we will add our white, or our, actually it's a off-white colored satin ribbon. We're going to pop that on the side here as a little accent. There we go. And I think I'm just going to trim these ever so slightly down and use the top ends of them. I'm going to put one of them right there coming off the top and one of them coming off the bottom. And the satin flower will sit right in the middle of those with a glue dot. There we go. So now we've just created a very pretty distress card with little or no effort. So easy to do. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. You'll look for us on our YouTube channel for all the other videos, and don't forget to subscribe.